Hey everyone, it's BlueLizardJello and welcome to Monster Hunter World. As a member of the 5th Fleet, you, your handler, and several other hunters are crossing the sea to assist the Research Commission in the New World. Elder dragons have been migrating here once every decade, and the Commission wants answers. However, along the way, Zorah Magdaros, the latest in these migrating elder dragons, capsizes your boat and you must find your way to the base camp in Astera. Your goal is to help secure the base camp, acquire better gear to increase your odds of survival, and discover clues as to what exactly is drawing the elder dragons to the New World. Here in the New World, you will face formidable creatures of all shapes and sizes, and you must use the resources gathered from the world around you, as well as from the corpses of the slain monsters, in order to craft better gear.
Don't mind me.
From the small creatures like the Dragns, to their much larger counterparts in the Great Dragns, you will encounter monsters that will test your very skills and wits as a hunter. You can mount the monsters, you can stun the monsters, you can even team up with players from other worlds in order to take down some of the bigger baddies. As you progress further and further through the different zones, it becomes clear that not all is as it seems in the New World, and there may be a reason why the elder dragons not only come to the New World, but never seem to leave, at least not alive. And this is Monster Hunter World for the PC. Oh, I am so excited to be back in the land of Astera, hunting down monsters. And I, of course, am with my good friend Silverius and our cat, Sif. Sif, for those of you who don't know, is actually the name of my cat. Oh, it is good to be back. So we are going to do just a couple of quick quests so I can show off the game a little bit, get you a feel for what you can expect. And I don't expect this to become a regular series. I may show off some of the more fun hunts periodically, but if you want to take a look at my gear, that's the map. You know, I'm infamous for showing off my map. Let's take a look and see what we'll be using. So I have the Steel Blade, Rathian Helm, Bone Helm, Alloy Vambraces, Kadachi Coil, and the Kula Greaves, and I have the Health Booster. We can take a look at the skills. So right now it just gives me Attack Boost 1, Defense Boost, Health Boost, Thunder Attack, which frankly I'm probably going to go and switch out with something else I have in my inventory because my weapon doesn't do Thunder Attack, and then Critical Eye for increased affinity. There is so much to this game. If you're at all curious, definitely let me know in the comments below. I can do my best to answer some of the questions. But let's switch out the Kadachi Coil, and I think we'll just do Scenthound. It's nothing great. Defense is significantly lower, but Thunder Attack is going to do me absolutely no good. I am using the Insect Glaive. It is by far my favorite weapon, with the Hunter's Horn being my second. There is my Kinsect on my arm. You'll see the Kinsect in action once we get into some combat. But first we actually need to head to the Great Ravine. So at this point in the story, we're probably about a third, maybe even only a quarter of the way through. But I've already summarized that a little bit with the cutscenes, but I have driven off Zorah Magdaros. Actually, Zorah Magdaros escaped. We were trying to capture him. And now we need to find our way through the Great Ravine, through the fissure he just created, and onto a new area. So we're going to depart on an expedition and head to the Great Ravine.
Great! We made it! Let's start by finding a way forward.
Here we go. Now, I did take a little bit of time actually creating this character, so let's set it up so that you can actually see it. I believe in options, there is the head armor. There we go. We will do hide, and there we go. So we still get the benefits of the helmet, but here is Silverius. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer into his wise, wizened old face.
I think we can get through if we head this way.
I'm really a big fan of this next zone, which is why I decided not to show you this game from the beginning, where it is rather slow with all the different tutorials, but I could show you a little bit further on and show you some of the beautiful, beautiful landscapes that this game offers.
Pretty important on the other side.
Okay. Here we go. A couple more of our fearless monster hunters with us. But we are not too interested in the people as much as we are interested in what lies beyond this great ravine. In the cutscenes that I showed, you could see just the size of Zorah Magdaros, and I probably showed you a little snippet of Nergigante, which is one of my favorite fights.
We gotta be careful not to fall here.
Well, right here we don't have to be so careful. It's pretty wide.
Think we're getting close? Oh. Race you down there. Come on, this way. You awake? I don't know where we are.
That flying creature, Legiana, is still, to this day, one of the fights that I have the most problem with. By the way, the game actually did crash, unfortunately, which is why I still have my helmet on. Let me go ahead and turn that off. There we are. But that Legiana, I still struggle to this day. So let's talk to a couple NPCs and then get out onto a mission. Oh, hello. You're awake. Do you remember your fall? A friend of ours found you napping in the Vale and carried you here. But more to the point, congratulations, you found the Third Fleet. I'm their leader to the extent that still means something. And this is our research base. Our fleet consists entirely of scholars. Which fleet are you with? And how did you get here? What happened in the Great Ravine? I see. So this Zorah Magdaros was the latest Elder Dragon to make the crossing, and it breached the Great Ravine when you tried to capture it? Well, I suppose after all this time, we may get to finally do what we came here. I must say that I'm stimulated. Well, then let's not waste any time. We need to pick up Zorah Magdaros' trail. An expedition into the Coral Highlands might be fruitful, wouldn't you agree? For obvious reasons, that is what we call the surrounding area. A nice, thorough expedition should reveal the Highlands' secrets. It's a good idea, is it not? I know it's a good idea. I came up with it. Now go. Quickly.
Doing a careful expedition into the Coral Highlands sounds like a good idea to me.
So an expedition is when you actually go out to explore and there's no time limit. You can go out and fight monsters, you can collect resources, you can just find secrets, whereas a quest is always limited. Typically, the main story quests are going to be 50 minutes long, and only investigations, which have special conditions, would be any shorter, sometimes only as short as 15 minutes. Now, we do have the Elder Melder here that we can talk to.
Hey there.
Would you mind taking this? It's a charm. It's a subject of all my research. I believe it may improve one of your equipment skills, or even give you a new one. Go on, give it a try. Since being stranded in the Coral Highlands, I've been studying the first Wyverian's melding techniques. It's been a long, arduous process, but at long last I've managed to produce this one charm. I've been waiting for ages for a hunter to come along and try it out in the field. Give it lots of love for me, okay? We got the defense charm. This is actually the first charm that we get, so I can change my... Actually, I can't change it here. I have to go to my equipment box. Once we actually get access to the melder, then we can start and really put some effort into farming the gems, which is how you create your different builds. So let's go to our item box. In fact, we need to manage some items. So I am going to get rid of that. I'll keep the ancient potion. I don't need regular potions. I will end up creating some more mega potions. I'm going to slide that over that way. Don't need any of these mushrooms. Now, we need to do some... Let's restock. There we go. Perfect. Now, is there anything else that I need? I want to... Oop. I need to go over to the pouch. That's what it is. So we need some items. Let's see. Well done steak. Definitely take those. Increase our stamina. When you're out in the field, I'm going to take some rations as well. The longer you're out in the field, eventually your max stamina will decrease, and as you take damage, your max health will decrease. Only certain items can restore that. For example, nutrients can restore your max health. Rations and well done steaks can restore your stamina. There's others out there, but that is basic. Those are the basics. Let's see. Might seeds would be not a terrible idea. I don't think I need it now. I will take the max potion. That sounds like a good idea. I don't plan on doing any trapping just yet. Otherwise, I would take the trap tool and whatnot. What would be good, though, do I have any flash bugs? I don't think so. I don't think so. That would be good for anything we run into that can fly. Although I do have some flash pods, so that'll work. All right, let's change equipment. Let's go to our charm, put defense charm on. You can see our defense will go up to, what did that go up to? Oh, it actually went up to 103. There we go. Okay, well, let's head into the Coral Highlands, do some investigating. I think it'll even allow us to fight our first monster. Ooh, we need to sight a Tsitsi Yaku. I love Tsitsi Yaku. He's kind of like Dilophosaurus if Dilophosaurus could, you know, freeze you with its fins. Now, let's see. I don't think there's anything in the box here. No, on expeditions, you don't get anything. But I do want to eat. Eating is a very, very important part of the game. To talk about all the intricacies of the food would take far too long, and I can't even explain it all that well. But what we can do is do a meat platter so I can get the attack M up boost. I don't get any extra health from it, but I do get a little bit of stamina. Every time I see their food, I get hungry. Although I dare say I probably couldn't eat as much as Silverius can. It's rather impressive. Alright, we didn't get any of the other secondary effects, but we did get extra stamina and some attack. So let's jump right in, quite literally. Since the first jump, bit of a plunge. Alright, we have some Kelbies here. Snow herb, I really don't have any need for it. That is typically for your gun users. I've actually never played with the guns in this game, which is probably something that I am missing. Okay, we have some footprints that definitely looks like a Tsitsi Yaku. Also, one of my favorite things that I love to do is to capture all the endemic creatures. So if I can, let's see, crouch. Nope. No, that's not what I wanted. Oh. We did get spotted. Let's fight these guys really quickly. Oh, grab some footprints here. Shouldn't be too difficult, although usually others will join the fight here in a little bit. And there they are. Okay, one's down. Let's get my Kinsect out. So when I shoot my Kinsect, it will start attacking the point, and you can see up in the top left, there's a number 3 on the bug. That means I'm getting that boost, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 3 is a defense boost. You can get 1, 2, and 3. 1 is attack, 2 is speed, and then 3, I do believe, is defense. You can see now that it's switched over to 1, and it does depend on where you actually hit the enemy. It's a really interesting weapon. I think the insect glaive It takes no time to learn it, but it takes quite a while to master it, and I say that because, frankly, I still have not mastered it. And let's see if I can land on him. Nope, that's okay. I don't really need to be fighting these guys, but they can be problematic if we end up fighting a bigger monster. So might as well just take them out nice and quick like. So now I'm actually doing bonus damage because of the meal I ate and because of the fact I have that red essence. Let's see if I can get a different one. Now that's gonna get the red again. If at all. Okay, there we go. So once you have at least 1 and 2, you get a really great buff to your speed and your damage. So let's actually harvest these Shamos while I talk a little bit. And then if you have 2 and 3, you get a different buff. If you get 1, 2, and 3, you get the maximum buff. And then eventually they do, of course, run out, and I need to send my Kinsect out again. The Kinsects do have other features. They do some damage, not a ton, but they do some. And they can also leave behind a cloud. You see this cloud here. If I was damaged and I hit this, it actually heals me. You can get a paralysis cloud. You can get a poison cloud. There's, I think, even explosives, which are really cool. Also, you notice my weapon durability. It did drop during the battle. That means that I believe I do both less damage and I have the chance to actually rebound off of the enemies. And not what I want to do. I'm trying to, what? I don't remember how to duck. There we go. I'm trying to sneak up kind of on this wiggler and got it. There we go. And you just get some points from it. Some of them can actually give you items. Typically, it's really just for collection purposes. And once you go back to your quarters where you live, you can set up animals. You can set up the geckos in the tree and fish in an aquarium style. And I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, so let's hunt down some Kuliyaku. There's honey. Honey is incredibly valuable for your mega potions and some other really high quality restoratives. I do need to gather at bone piles. This game is about 25% hunting monsters and 75% resource gathering, and honestly, I'm okay with it. I really like how it's set up. I've just had a blast. This is my 4th character that I'm now leveling in the game, which some of you who have played, you might think that's a little bit silly. Oh, there's more Shamos and some honey up there. Now we'll just keep pushing this way. You might think that's silly because, frankly, you only need 1 character. There's some herb from potions. I have it set up to auto-craft. And the reason is you don't need to level up any stats. It's just your gear that makes your build. So at any point, you can simply switch gear to get a completely different build. Different weapon, different buffs and whatnot, different stat increases. But for me, the leveling and the story is actually the most fun. The end game, typically in most games, really, don't interest me all that much. All right, what do we got? So we have nullberries. Nullberries are really good for a number of negative effects. Now up here is actually where the camp's going to be that it wants me to find, and we might run into Tsitsiyaku along the way. I don't see him just yet. Get some ores here, which is good because right now I am going along the ore tree for the crafting. The crafting is, I wouldn't say it's complicated or really all that convoluted, but there is a lot to know about it because there are different branching paths. There we go. Ooh, good. Got some aqua core. That's good for the charms, just like we got from the Elder Melder. Okay, so we need to climb again, which we can use that wedge beetle. You can see how I can use that here in just a second. Let's get, we don't need smoke net. So if I aim at it and then use that, there we go. Get a nice leap above. Traversing the environment is certainly a skill. Now these gashes right here, these do not belong to Tsitsiyaku. These actually belong to Legiana. This is usually where you encounter Legiana. Grab some more nullberries. Yes, handler, I know where the camp is. More gashes. I'm not gonna, oh, and there she is right there.
That's the monster we ran into earlier. Must be the big boss around these parts.
Time to run, time to run. But we can grab their footprints, and right in here is the camp. When you discover a new campsite, it's not immediately open to you. It requires some sort of delivery requirements, which it doesn't tell me what it is right now. Now we just need to go out and find Tsitsiyaku. And it just says to cite it, but I think Frankly, I think we could actually take it down. Otherwise, I think it's going to have us go back and then return and fight a Palamau, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, well, let's do a little bit of running around. Legiana would destroy me right now. I mean, she destroys me on a good day, let alone as underpowered as we are. So we're just going to... Oh, she's flying away. That works for us. That works for us. Let's see. Any Tsitsi? No Tsitsiaku. So Tsitsiaku has a bit of a patrolling area. We'll usually run down through this section, but nothing down there. I see some wing drakes. I'm not sure exactly what species they are. I don't see a Tsitsi. Normally I run into Tsitsiaku down through the area that I already ran from. Or ran through, rather. But we can certainly go back and look, or we could drop down. Tell you what, let's just drop down here. They do see her in this area as well. I don't know if it's a her. There's most Shamos. Often find them together. And more Shamos. Kind of like John Shamos from Full House. Okay, I am playing online. I haven't shot up my SOS flare. I don't even know if it would let me, to be honest. So the rule of thumb with the insect glaive is really you should never be fighting without having, at the very least, the red essence for the extra damage. But frankly, you should be fighting with red and white. That gives you one of the best buffs. The defense is nice, but if you can't get that, it's certainly worth it to at very least get those two. Close the gap. And let's vault. This is the reason why I fell in love with this weapon. The vault sends you into the air, and then you can do this really cool air attack, and as long as your last hit continues to hit enemies, you will stay in the air as long as you have stamina. Now this right here, this is a flash fly. So if I put my weapon away and then use it, it will temporarily blind all the enemies in the area. And let's get my Kinsect going. There we go. Still just getting that third essence, which isn't ideal. I was kind of thinking that as I kill these Shamos, that I might get Tsitsiaku to show up. No? Alright, Sif just took him out. Even these Shamoses, even though they're low level, they can create some pretty good armor. So I'm not against harvesting them for their materials. And really, if I just kill them, you know, waste not, want not, right? Isn't that what they say? At least what my mom said. And there's no indication of where Tsitsiaku... Thought I just heard something. No indication of where he currently is. I've been finding his tracks, so he shouldn't be too far away. May be up in this section. I'll tell you what, here we go. So at this point, it does want me to just leave.
Sounds like the research base has a new guest. Want to go back and check in?
But I'm not sure that I want to leave. Because I think we could actually take Tsitsiaku as is. It's not part of the quest. We don't have any requirement to do it. But we're here, and all I've shown you so far is how to kill Shamoses. They're not that exciting. But I do need to sharpen. Hey, weapon sharp. Let's go see if we can track him down. I know that there's a bone pile there, but I'd rather get some damage in before he disappears. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to lead with our Kinsect. Oh, he's actually sleeping? What do we get? We collected... Oh, nothing, because we didn't hit him. Never seen him lay down here. Okay, so the face should be a red essence. It is. And usually either legs or wings are how you get the number 2, the white essence. So that's what we're going to go for. Go for his legs. Oh, careful. And he's going to probably try and freeze me here. Nope, not quite. Usually he'll try to back up when it's time to use his freezing ability or his paralysis ability. And still nope. Nope, there it is. I just need to get outside of the sphere of influence, or actually cone of influence, I should say. Really trying to get this here. All right, tell you what, can you jump or something? That ought to do it. Once my Kinsect gets there, and now we have the full buff, and we can get behind. And I was just outside of it, otherwise that would have really, really frozen me for a while. Now, one thing that's cool, let's see if we can actually get it. See, my moveset is completely changed now, and that's because I have all these essences built up. And it got knocked out of the air simply because I didn't hit him. But what I want to do is show you how you can ride these monsters. So let's see. And there it is. Now the goal here is to knock him down, which will give me several opportunities to do a lot of damage. So anytime he flails around, I need a brace, but sometimes he'll try and bash you into some of the objects or the walls, and in that case, you need to jump around on their back. All I'm doing is just little slashes, but here we go. This will knock him down really well, and we can focus on trying to break some body parts, like those 2 things on his head, which are basically like antenna. That was a lot of damage. Really, really good. Still got the buff going. Come on, Tsitsi. Okay, my weapon durability is down, which means I could start to reflect off of him if I'm not careful. Come on. Careful. Oh, got that tail swipe. Not a lot of damage, though. We're doing some good work. There's the reflection, though. So I need to put some distance. Hopefully Sif can... Uh-oh. Might get frozen here. I think I'm inside of it. Yep. So we got hits, and now we're completely vulnerable. Thank you, Sif. Your partners, whether it is your Palico or another player, can knock you out of that. Oh, this is bad. Not a ton of damage. I did actually upgrade my armor. So you can change armor. You can change your gear for different skills. I should be safe here. But you can also increase the defense of your armor, which I didn't used to. Oh, that was the wrong button. I didn't used to for a while, but now I'm just seeing how valuable it is to increase your defense, especially once you start to get into those higher level hunts. All right, so what do we get here? That should be a 2. If my insect ever hits, there we are. And that might be the face. It is. So let's bring it back. Now I'm going to just send it out while it does some passive damage for us. Okay. Watch it. Oh, good hit, good hit. Probably time to do some healing. Sif can also do some healing for me. In fact, that's what she's doing right there with that Vigor Wasp. Okay, back up. Perfect. We're doing some really, really nice damage here. You may notice if you've never played Monster Hunter before, there's no health bar. You will never see a health bar. In fact, this is the first Monster Hunter game in this series where you even saw your damage numbers. Before, it was just kind of a guess. You saw how much damage the weapon did according to the item screen, but you never got to see it when you did any sort of attack. So this is new. A lot of people were kind of iffy on it. I'm a fan. All right. So he's going to leave the area now. But that was some really good damage. Anytime they leave, typically this is when you want to reapply buffs, maybe top off your health. But we do now need to track him down. Shouldn't go too terribly far. But this is Monster Hunter. This is the game. It is just boss battle after boss battle. And then let me tell you, some of the later bosses would put any Dark Souls bosses to shame.
Ecosystem. Have you ever seen anything like this?
Alright, I didn't top off my health. this can be really good if he wants to hang out here, because he can get trapped in these big, giant mushrooms. So let's see if I can get him to look at me. Now, the Shamoses and the Tsitsiyaku, as you saw earlier, are not friends. Ooh, he did not get impacted by that in the slightest. Okay, got a little bit of healing from my dust. Ooh, I'm going to have all 3 essences. That's going to be oh! Gotta attack the face, my friend. Oh, no, you're missing. And will that be number 1? Nope, still number 2. Okay, let's just get behind. Let's see if I can do some damage while he's distracted by the Shamoses. Nice hit there in the head. There we go. That ought to do it. All right, now we have all 3. He's already leaving, which means he's probably pretty damaged. Okay, when they try to leave, if you do enough damage, you can actually stop them, which I really appreciate. Got some parts broken there. Looks like it was part of his head. Why don't we do some aerial attacks here? All right, now he's leaving. And he is close to death. You can see down in the mini-map, there's some piercing pods. I'll show you those in a second. But on the mini-map, you see that skull icon. That means he is close to death. I could capture him, so if I did bring that trap tool and some tranquilizer bombs, then I could capture him. You get different rewards for capturing as you do from killing. And there is the piercing. Piercing will go through the entire length of the monster. So in other words, to do the maximum amount of damage, you want to go kind of either front to back or back to front. That's how you... Oh, nice. Broke him out of that. Back up, back up. Tsitsiyaku, as long as you stay outside of that cone of influence, really not a bad fight. But I think it's a lot of fun. Okay, my essences are about to run out. He's leaving the area again, but that's just fine, because that gives us time to sharpen. He's going to go to his nest. Most monsters have an area that they'll return to once they're at such a weakened state, and it allows them to rest up. If you have bombs, which I didn't bring any, I just wanted to show you some really basic combat, you can do an absolute ton of damage, because the first attack on a monster when they're sleeping will do double the damage. Bombs already do a lot of damage, so you can imagine just how much a bomb will do. All right, let's finish this off. Should not take much longer. Sif, whenever you want to join in. Knock him down again. Perfect. Let's try to focus on the head. Oh, he's got to be so close to death. Gonna try and freeze me? No? Come on. There we go. And there he is. And that was actually part of a bounty that I had. So let's go ahead and harvest this. Oh, there we go. So we've got Tsitsiyaku scale. You will also get rewards for breaking body parts off. Even if they don't drop something, at the reward screen at the end is where you'll pick that up, which is what we're going to see now. So I'm going to end this expedition and see what we get. And we are actually going to call it an episode there. This has been Monster Hunter World, one of my absolute top games of 2018. Not exactly up there with the Souls games in terms of the gameplay itself, but it can help to scratch that itch when you just want to go out and take some bosses down and feel like a complete overpowered I just won't finish that phrase because that wasn't going to be as family friendly as it ought to be. But there are some of the rewards we got. We will pick that up. And as the rewards pour in, I am going to call it an episode there. Let me know what you think of the game down in the comments below. If it's something you picked up or if you're planning on picking it up, I would certainly recommend it. And just let me know what your experience has been. And hopefully I can see you out there in the hunting grounds in Astera. But I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.